And welcome back to your Oceanic Gaming Winter Arena Grand Final. We're locked up at 1-1 at this point in time. My name is Rancunius. Joining me is the lovely Jubilate. I tell you what, this is the best of three. This is it. This game decides it all.
It's gotta risk it to get the biscuit. You gotta shake and you gotta bake in order to find out who is going to win. This is, as you mentioned, this is the final game. It's 1-1. CMS and UTS, they're going at it right now. It's the final game. Lux, Renekton, Jarvan being banned out. Nidalee, Jax, Morgana. I have to say, I'm so stoked for this game. We've seen everything that's been happening, and of course, Sora locking in that Thresh right away.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. I mean, picking that one up for his support down there in the bottom lane. They've been playing a lot of Thresh here for the side of UTS, and well, I've really liked it from Ludwig. He seems strong and it seems confident on it. I mean, everyone should be confident on it. It's been around for long enough, but you know, whether you play it well or well enough, it's another thing. And from him, I've certainly been impressed. I've certainly enjoyed the Thresh that I've seen today.
Absolutely. And you know what? We saw the first game. CMS did very well. We saw the second game. UTS did better. Who do you think is going to win this one?
It's got to be back in the other favor, right? CMS, the back of the blue side.
It flip-flops each way.
Yep.
Right?
I mean, doing the flip-flop. I mean, you know, I wear flip-flops generally, but this game, we're going to be doing the flip-flop.
Well then, flip-flops more than a...
Are we going to do a flip?
Is Nami in this game? Are they going to choose Nami?
Are we going to do a floop this game? I mean, we flipped, we flopped. Is it time for the floop?
You know, you can make a rap off of that. It's like flip, flop, flip, the floop, the flip, flip, flop, the floop. Maybe?
Maybe.
No? Well, this game is going to actually be the Nocturne hovered over in that jungle once again. We saw how good it was with that Paranoia being able to put that global presence down as well. Getting that gank halfway across the map is always good. Shiny Boy getting that Jinx locked up. Of course, Jinx going up against Lucian, something that you usually see if it's not a Sivir being picked up.
Yep,
or
absolutely.
Caitlyn.
Sivir or Caitlyn. Yeah, you know, these are just the strongest of the AD carries. I'm sad because I didn't get to see a Kog'Maw tournament. I always like to see Kog'Maws, but yeah, you know. We didn't even get to see a placeholder Kog'Maw.
Let's just face it. Kog'Maw currently is not at a point.
The Koreans played him.
What? Elements also plays Trundle support. That doesn't mean that you should be doing it.
But if the Koreans do it, surely these guys can do it as well.
If the Koreans do it, that means the Koreans can only do it. But, wow! Actually, sorry to do that, but Warwick being locked in.
Yeah, that's not a bad move. I mean, Warwick is quite strong on this patch. He's a decent champion to be picking up. Provides great ball setup and solar flares as well. It's so easy to hit a solar flare if they're standing still and not moving for an extended period of time.
Absolutely, and of course Lulu being hovered over as well. That could be a mid lane Lulu. Of course, the changes to Lichbane were definitely used for that, and that's going to be a Shyvana as well. More than likely, I'd say that is a Shyvana in the top lane. Very strong up in there in that lane. We saw how well it did earlier against Trundle. Trundle's been basically played 100% today. Trundle has a 100% pick rate. I wonder if they're going to do that once again, or what they could do is choose another jungler, someone like not Warwick, like Xin Shao, who's going to be available, and actually have Warwick go in the top lane. It's going to be a Lee Sin, though. Okay, I'm thinking it's going to be a Lee Sin top with a Warwick in the jungle. Because Warwick in the top lane is going to be extremely weak against Shyvana very, very early on.
Yeah, and you know, Wick just provides more powerful ganks later on. Lee Sin, very sustained. Okay, never mind.
Rise,
You
okay.
can see our first Rise pickup of the day.
We've been talking about how strong Rise is in the top lane. It's a lock-in. That's going to be a Rise in the top lane. We've been talking about how strong he is, how well he does against people such as Renekton. He's going to do fairly well against Shyvana as well. Going to be able to get that Rune Prism, lock him down into a single place. And of course, with the range, it's going to help out in addition to his normal kit. And his cooldowns are so incredibly low because of his passive, reducing the cooldown of your abilities every single time you hit an ability. It's absolutely insane how strong Rise can get. This is something that CMS absolutely needs for this game. Get a top lane carry rather than a frontliner. Have your jungler be a huge frontliner. Have your support be a huge frontliner. And just let Rise do what he does. Stand in the back, throw out his abilities, and just see the team melt. In addition, it's similar to a Nasus. As the game gets later, Rise simply just gets stronger.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, last game we saw that on the side of UTS that they picked up that strong laner, and sorry, not strong laner, but like strong late game comp. Jinx is still a part of that. Shyvana is still a part of that. Don't put it out there just yet, because Nocturne's late game as well incredibly good because of his dive potential.
Absolutely. And just looking at the team comps, like, look at this. There are 2 ball deliveries. We've seen Bullseye play on the Orianna, and he does extremely well. And you can either throw it onto Warwick, Warwick is a very, very good ball deliverer. I think we actually mentioned it in yesterday's games, where when the team is grouped up, Warwick can just ult, and it's a guaranteed placement. Like, you don't have to rely on a skill shot landing. He's just right there, and all you have to do is hit R, and you immediately land that shockwave. As soon as that happens, you throw down the Zenith Blade or the Solar Flare. But other than Warwick, you also have Leona. If you don't want to go with the Infinite Duress being the ball delivery, you just go with the Zenith Blade instead. Still allowing for that wombo combo. That being said, though, you can still have a lot of engage potential over from UTS as well. Dragon's Descent. You have the Paranoia as far as against the Death Sentence into the Death Leap. Really helps them out as well. And of course, with Lulu's Wild Growth, there's a little bit more sustain, and you do have that knock-up as far as the disruption goes.
Yeah, Lulu's fantastic. The other thing Lulu's great for here is peeling for an AD carry. As the game gets later and later, she becomes a utility-based mid laner, because that buff on Whimsy, the move speed buff, is huge. It's 10% per 100 AP. When you're rocking 400-500 AP, that's a bonus 50% move speed buff. Jinx with that is not a slow, easy to catch carry.
Absolutely, but we're going to be getting into this game fairly soon. Over on the blue side, it's going to be, as it is, 1-for-1. UTS over on the blue side. It's going to be Exor in the top lane with the Shyvana. AKG Sucks on the Nocturne, the jungle, Shenny Boy. Mid lane, Lulu. Shuffer on that Jinx. And of course, Ludwig going to be playing that Thresh.
Absolutely. And, well, Thresh has been so important to their composition. He's just been great engager for the guys from UTS. But let's talk about right now CMS, what they're bringing to the table. They're going to bring Ryze in the top lane, Warwick in the jungle, and Ballsy on that Orianna in the mid lane, whacked on the Lucian in the bottom lane as the AD carry. And also, don't forget, here is Grey Fox Baby on that support Leona. So strong on that Leona. She's making plays all day, or at least trying to. Blitzcrank didn't do that for him last game. He was forced to go to another champion, and, well, it's going to be the Lady of Light. Maybe he shows his team the light and goes forward, because they got Piercing Light and the Sunlight in the bottom lane.
Yeah, but hopefully, his team can follow him into the dark if it's a bad call. Song, no. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. But look, I believe it's going to be blue side is going to be UTS, and
yep,
their team. They are kind of looking for that really large pick that they want. They want to try and get whacked out of position. They want to try and lock him down. They have the team comp to do it. They have the paranoia to target him down. The combo that with the fear tether, and he can be feared. Shyvana can cause a lot of disruption for the rest of the team, and of course Thresh, if he does land a death sentence onto Whacked, that's the pick that they want. However, there's a lot of engage, AoE engage at that coming from CMS. And I think that is definitely going to be giving them an advantage. I mean, it's nice to have a pick comp, but when it comes to a team fight, if you can do a lot of AoE disruption, it's going to really, really hinder the DPS coming out from your opponents. I mean, you can have the DPS coming out from Lulu as well as Jinx, but if that Orianna Shockwave hits them, that's just a split second of just no DPS coming out from either of them. You throw the distance on top of that, and that means it's going to be a huge amount of damage as well. In addition, after that happens, you're going to have Leona going in, trying to lock someone else down. That's another person not doing any damage to CMS. Rune Prison, going to lock someone down in place, spam all the abilities. Going to be a lot of AoE damage coming out from Ryze as well. It's instead of like, let's pick a priority target and eliminate them, it's more along the lines of, let's just go and kill them all.
Yeah, let's kill them all before they can do anything. I mean, that's always a valid strategy. I mean, you know, killing everyone before they can do anything. If you've got a LeBlanc, you've got a Jarvan, and stuff like that, just like, wham, bam! Thank you, ma'am.
Bam, bam. Well, we do have Illusion. Gonna throw out that calling. You know, as a Kobe actually taught us that you don't, although it looks cool, you actually don't want to hold your gun sideways because as it discharges, the shell's going to hit you in the face. So you always want to hold it vertical so it shoots to the side.
Ah, right. Well, if I ever need to use a gun, then
Well, if you're Lucian, you're going to be using two.
Ah, yeah, I suppose that's always a good point. You know, if I ever find myself as Lucian, I'll make sure to remember that stat. I mean, you can't be Rambo without holding your gun correct. You can be Rambo, sure. You can be a fantastic, you know, you could be a best marksman ever, but like, if you're holding your gun wrong.
Then again, Rambo never actually uses a pistol.
True.
I mean, if you're gonna go Rambo,
if he was cool, he would like hold a machine gun on the side.
He'll be so he's more like Jinx. He holds that minigun and switches into like a rocket launcher. That's Rambo right there. That's the epitome of Rambo. Can Jinx just get a name change to Rambo?
Yeah, yeah. I wholeheartedly support this. So it's a good idea. I love it. I agree with it. And coming to a rift near you, it's going to be that Jinx known as Rambo.
It should just make Rambo Jinx.
Should be a skin.
Give her like a bandolero all the way across, like a bandana from Rambo First Blood.
Oh.
And just give her like gigantic muscles.
Man, you've got this all sorted out, dude. Like, what am I even doing here? Like, you should just be like Riot's everything.
You're here to tell me what's happening on the screen.
Nothing at this point in time. We're sitting through a pause, so don't worry, guys, about that one. We'll be getting the game quite shortly. I promise you that. If I can't promise you anything else, it's going to be that we'll be getting the game pretty quickly.
Absolutely, and you know, I'm really curious in this game what the supports are going to be starting out. Gray Fox, baby, has been playing his supports very defensively in his builds early on. He has consistently built a Doran shield every game on his support. Whereas you do have Ludwig, who is going for that gold generation. He's going for kind of that. If he's playing someone such as Leona, he goes with the Targans to try and get to that face of mountain very early on. Whereas, you know, I'm interested if Gray Fox is going to try and get some gold generation items early on, or if he's still going to be going with the Doran's shield in order to try and have a little bit more survivability in lane.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, the Doran shield has been coming out a lot on towards Ludwig, actually, I think it has been. That's been picking up that Doran shield a lot, knowing when he's going to take a lot of harass. or knowing that they just want to flat out engage pretty regularly. That's pretty key. Knowing what you want to do in that lane, and itemizing correctly. Well, itemizing correctly is like half the game.
Yeah, it's half the game. The other 25% is mechanics. The other 20%
Is speed.
The
If you're,
the
you're
other
cinched.
3% is decision making, and the other 2% is trying to be Asian.
Trying and failing or succeeding based upon your ability to listen in league class.
Yeah. You know they actually have league classes in Korea?
Yeah, actually, University of New South Wales, the team that got knocked out earlier, actually has a LoL unit. I mean, it's voluntarily run. You can sit down and you can watch it and you can congratulate it. Didn't China like set up a league college specifically for League of Legends like earlier in the year?
Yeah. But I mean, like, I think we're starting to see something similar to what we saw in the StarCraft League, where like there's classes on StarCraft, there's classes on Dota, just the culture of the Korean scene is so much different compared to that of Oceania and North America or even EU. It's especially when it comes to roster changes. If you are not at the top of your game and you're on a Korean team or an Asian team, whether it be Chinese, Korean, Japanese, however you want to do it, if you're not at the top of the game, you're gone and you're replaced immediately. Which is why it's so important. Like SK Telecom, have they been through a roster change? I don't think they've been through a roster change. They have. That's right. Okay, so Pumandu was sick and they actually had a roster change for that. But for the most part, like we even seen with the Chinese teams, someone's not at the top of the game, immediately replaced. TPA is an example of how much roster changing there is that goes on within the Asian community, and that's just keeping the team at the top tier. That's what's doing it. And although it does break my heart that part of the North America is doing a lot of roster changes, TSM in particular, I think it is necessary. I think Odd One is kind of making a right call in stepping down. He's saying my mechanics aren't up to par in order to compete with the rest of the scene. Let's get the players in here that are up to par. Faker, for example, has some of the best mechanics in North America.
Faker is in North America?
Bjergsen has some of the best mechanics in North America.
Right.
But if Faker was in North America, he would also have the best mechanics.
Okay. So what you're saying is become Faker, get mechanics, get bitches.
Or become Bjergsen, become Faker, get some Burger King.
Ooh, Burger King. I could go for some food right now. Ooh, burgers. Burgers are just great. Especially if they're King burgers, I guess.
Absolutely, guys. We still are in this pause. We got a little bit of technical difficulties. There are issues going on with the OCE servers currently.
No, it's actually a player's wireless card.
Yes. Whatever that may be.
His wireless internet card isn't working.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to get that solved out. And, well, we're still stuck in this pause. Instead of rambling on like idiots, let's go ahead. What?
I like rambling on like an idiot. I make a great idiot.
Well, I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah.
All right, but we're going to be right back, guys. Let's go ahead and cut to some music until we can get this game sorted out.
Listen, boy. My first love story. My angel and my girls. My sunshine. Let's go. 너무너무 멋져 눈이 부셔 숨을 못 쉬겠어 떨리는 걸. Baby, baby, baby.
Hello guys, welcome back once again. Got everything figured out, and pause is no longer a pause. I mean, unless you're wearing pause, but I've got hands. So joining me is Jubilate. Hopefully he's pause free. We'll find out. Jubilate, are you pause free?
I am pause free. I mean,
Pause off, man. Pause off.
Well, here in America, we have the right to bear arms, but unfortunately, I have human arms. I'm not Udyr.
Whoa,
So-
dude, this is aggressive.
This is extremely aggressive. This is a 5-man invade. They are just trying to get an idea of where everyone is. I'm curious if they're going to go for the steal. And like right now, what they're doing.
If they 5-man run around like this and they don't take it, they could have lost so much right there. I mean, now they've been spotted. Like, that's risky. That is so risky.
Well, you gotta risk it to take the biscuit rank. It's the only way to do it in this final. But that's gonna be a caught out whack NZ.
Oh, he's gonna flash over the wall. He's totally fine. Forget him. I mean, Dustbringer did misk, so he's gonna continue running into the opposition jungle. He's a scared Rise. He's good though. He's good.
Look at this. Is so aggressive. This is the play that I've been waiting for all night. With the trinkets being changed to 30 seconds, I mean, you are not seeing these invades. You're seeing line of scrimmage straight across the line, straight across the river. Very safe play. But now we're seeing this invade. Feelings is going to be taking his blue buff. He absolutely needs that. I think the only thing that would be better is if they gave Chuffer the red buff, because at this point in the game, Feelings is going to take this blue buff, and he ought to go straight to the opposition red.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, but he's got his own blue for now. Get a feeling that his opposition were in his jungle. He's still got 5 health potions, hasn't popped a single one, so White, huge amount of XP. Is that worth taking if you're a Warwick?
I think what he's trying to do right now is it's really curious what he's going to be doing. I mean, Warwick does have that. He does have the initial sustain with his Hungering Strike. He's going to be able to heal himself up. But White does a lot of damage if you're not ready for it, especially pre-level 3. There's only quite a few champions who can do it, and one of them is Warwick. What I'm thinking that he's doing is he's going to secure White and then probably roam down to that red buff. Although I'm not 100% sure.
Does open up a window for Nocturne to go and take his own red buff.
Yeah, and that's the curious thing for me. I'm surprised that he's not going straight to that red buff. By the time that he would have gotten to the red buff, his smite would have been off cooldown. There is a ward on it. He could have presumed that it was going to get warded, but it would have been a 1-minute ward, considering that it would have been just a trinket ward. But he can't clear White fast enough in order to get down there in time before Nocturne makes a presence, unless Nocturne stops at either Wolves or Wraiths on the way. Nocturne might be expecting to do a mutual trade. Warwick's not going for the opposition red buff, and I find that surprising. They knew that his red buff was going to be stolen, and instead he's going for Feral Flare.
Is it a calculated risk? He's going for
Feral Flare. He is going for. There is a very specific pathing that you do in the jungle that gives you the maximum Feral Flare stacks at a particular amount of time. So the problem is that he doesn't have the red buff, so he's not going to get the maximum amount of it, but it's still going to be a very good chunk. But AKG Sucks is going to be a 3-buff lead with an engage down in the bot lane.
Oh yeah, I mean Choffa takes a fair chunk of damage right now, and that's not going to be good for the bot lane of UTS. But Jinx, then again, oh, hook on a Grey Fox, baby. He's going to think to turn engage. There it goes on a Chuffa, drops the Ignite, the Exhaust dropped on a whack. Flashing away is Chuffa. Can he live through this one? Relentless Pursuit, first blood for Whacked. They give him his Lucian, and look what he does with it.
Absolutely. At the same time, I mean, Nocturne makes a presence in the mid lane, just kind of throws out his Dust Trail, but no real engage potential on that. Warwick finally cleared out his red, but Nocturne now roaming up to the top lane. They want to shut down this Rise because he is going to be such a heavy carry.
Is that the worst move? I mean, roaming up to put pressure on Rise.
It's not the worst move. I mean, you did just put pressure in the mid, and you can do pressure in the top, especially since Exora is so low on health. Feelings is there. He's behind right now. That's because of the buff loss. But with the pathing that he did, it's so interesting that he didn't try to go for the mutual buff trade. Instead, he just farmed his own jungle, and that makes me think that he's thinking about going Feral Flare, and I don't know if that's the best thing to do. At level 6, you're going to have AKG Sucks doing so much pressure around the map because he's going to have that ultimate available. But Rise, because he's in the jungle so much, he can't really... He doesn't have any sort of gank potential until level 6. I mean, at least Nocturne at the time does, but there's an Engage in the bot lane.
Gage up in the top lane as well. AKG Sucks comes in on Whacked. Whacked is very low. They're going to pick that one up with the flash from Shyvana. But that bottom lane engage went absolutely nowhere. Gank comes out for Nocturne. Successful one on the top lane. Small advantages being picked up by him.
Yeah, and I was actually going to talk about that as far as the pre-level 6 ganking potential, but I can't because there's another engage into the bot lane. Just barely, though. They disengage right away. But Warwick can't really gank until level 6. He needs that infinite duress to do anything major. Whereas Nocturne, it's more beneficial for him to gank while he's level 6 because of the paranoia as a gap closer, but he can do it pre-6. He can use the CC that he has, Fear Tether, in order to lock down. We actually saw that him do that in the top lane. He used the Fear Tether in order to lock down Rise, and that gave the kill over to Exora, which was well needed, especially going up against someone who can easily bowl out a Shyvana. And Shyvana wisely building a Negatron cloak very, very early, try to mitigate that damage, because with that tier completed onto Rise, every single ability he uses means that it's just going to get stronger after that point on.
Well, in the meantime, Warwick is hitting that level 5 point. He's hanging around in that jungle. And what is kind of the point where you start feeling like you're clearing the jungle too slow, that you kind of need to go back and grab that Feral Flare? Not Feral Flare, Wriggle's Lantern, and everything associated with it.
With Warwick, he's currently sitting on 1,100 gold, which isn't bad. Actually, this is around the time that he does want to go back. And there it is. Yeah, he did go for the Modred's Razor, so he is going to go for that Feral Flare. That's why he didn't go for the mutual buff trade, because he would have lost time clearing out his jungle, getting those stacks. So that's a calculated risk, as you did mention. But he backed at exactly the right moment. He has the Modred's Blood Razor. He's going to be able to farm up a little bit faster now. He's going to be able to clear that jungle. So usually what you would want to do is, if you are going for that Feral Flare, you go back around that 1,100 gold. If you're going for a spirit item, such as Spirit of the Ancient Golem, which we've seen previously before Feral Flare, Warwick would go, then you go back around after your first rotation / attempted first gank, because that way you can get your Spirit Stone right away.
Right, no. Well, there we have it. The expert analysis brought to you by Jubilate. I mean, he'll be available later on, guys. Make sure you spam him out. Tell him how much you love him. I love him. He's fantastic. Look at him. Listen to his crisp, clear voice. I mean, if Zol was here, I mean, I'd tell him that...
he gets the bot lane.
Death Sentence comes out, and it's going to be turned back around. Both bot lanes trading quite decently in each other's favor, which is always important, you know. Neither side's losing these trades hugely or winning them either in that bottom lane.
Yeah, but if you look at the items, it's a huge advantage in the favor of Wicked. I mean, he did pick up that one kill.
Oh, Zenith Blade, Ludwig very low. Paranoia does come down, but that's going towards the top lane. Ludwig hooks Grey Fox maybe under the turret, and the traps of Flame Choppers, they don't activate, but one more turret shot. No, one more auto attack from Jinx is going to pick that one up. Up in the top lane, though, it's going to be Sora going down. Nocturne can't make that gank work, but now he is. He's looking at it. Jenny Boy, he's going to flash in, look for some damage on towards Feelings. A spell shield on AKG Sucks. Oh, great Dustbringer. He's going to clean up that kill. Warwick is forced to limp on away home, and, well, this right now, it's looking in favor of UTS.
Absolutely. Like, UTS did a very good job of turning that around in the top lane. They had the roam from Lulu to come and help secure this tower. And in addition, that with the teleport being up from Xora just teleports to the mid lane and holds that lane. They reduce the damage being there, and now she's engaging just onto Bolzy. Bolzy trying to trade back and forth, but it's not really working out to their favor. I mean, they're holding this turret, which is the most important thing. There's the shockwave that's missed though.
Oh yeah, Shockwave comes in, and now Ballsy's forced to run. The Ignite ticking on Sora. One more to attack. No, Sora's going to pick that one up. That's a solo kill for Sora. Very well played on that damage. I mean, he wasn't in that lane. He had no idea what that Orianna was capable of before that lane swap either. He hadn't seen her damage for a long period of time.
Absolutely, and this all snowballed basically from that first engage on the bot lane. I mean, Lucian, as far as laning goes, he is ahead. I mean, if we look at the gold on it, he's sitting on 3,000 total. It's only about maybe a 20, 40 gold difference between two, but he is in lane with a BF sword as opposed to a double Doran's blade. Double Doran's blade tells me that you're trying to maintain or stay even in lane. That means you are being bullied out. It means you are being just a little bit behind. Unless it's like based off of a first blood and you just want to add more pressure, you end up getting that very early lead. But the box going out in the bot lane.
Absolutely, and the solar flare as well. AKG sucks. Jenny Boy, they're roaming down. Whack taking so much damage, but he's out of position. He sacrifices his life to keep the support alive. That's not something you regularly see. And now this could be the Dragon attempted feelings. Was waiting for that turret dive on towards Grey Fox, baby. But not going to come through, and knows he can't contest that Dragon either.
Absolutely. Ultimate pop, though, by Whacked and Zed up the top lane just to try and get just Exorith off of him. And with the Dragon going in favor of UTS, it's boosting their gold lead. This is something that we've seen in the previous game, and they just snowballed after that. But the paranoia.
Oh, there comes the paranoia and the gang from Ludwig in the mid lane. And, well, AKG sucks and Ludwig, they are rotating as a team to really put the heat down on towards that mid lane. That's twice in a couple of games that Ballsy has been roamed on by the support.
Absolutely. And now they're putting pressure down onto this mid lane turret. They're not going to be able to get it just yet. It still has a decent amount of health in order to survive. But with 8 minutes already gone, it's now at 11 minutes. At 8 minutes, they ended up taking the Dragon. Around 8 minutes-ish. They took the Dragon, and that's something that we've seen previously. You make an early gank down the bot lane, you rotate the Dragon because there's no more pressure from your opponents. You take that very early Dragon, start snowballing that early on. They took already top lane turret. That's another 100, 150 gold to their name. I'm surprised that Wicked is not doing as much as he has before on that Lucian. It's Chuffer who's doing extremely well. I mean, I mentioned earlier that the double Doran's blade, that tells me that you're just trying to stay even. And right now he is pretty much staying even, and he's actually starting to come out ahead. He's ahead in CS, he's ahead in kills, and mostly that's due to, with the addition to the Vampiric Scepter, he is getting a lot of sustain in that lane. So he's able to put pressure back, he's able to answer back from that BF sword that is complete on Wicked, but there's a teleport down bot lane.
Coming down from Whacked and Z, looking to come in. Flame Chopper's come out, Desperate Power as well. And, well, that's a teleport gank going to foul. Sora has a free lane to push up here, and Whacked is a long way from saving that one, and it's going to force the rotation from Feelings. He's going to show himself, and then, well, Nocturne he can gank once again, but there's the engage bottom lane. Zenith Blade on a Chuffer, but, oh, great Solar Flare. They're trying to do the culling damage as well. Chuffer's just cutting backwards. He's got the damage. There's the Mega Death Rocket. He pick it up. Now Whacked is in trouble as well. Going to come forward for Chuffer. And Sora's ganking here, won't even get an assist for his teleport and his time, but UTS, they're gonna take 2 turrets to O right here, and they're going to have a huge advantage. They picked up that Dragon, they picked up the first turret in the top lane, and now the bottom turret, and I tell you what, Jubilate, they look strong.
They are incredibly strong. Looking at the gold, let's look at the global gold after this turret is taken down. Okay, that just boosted them to 21.7 as opposed to 17.4. That is a 4,000 gold difference. Kills 8-2 in favor of UTS. Itemization, Jinx currently sitting on 2,400 gold, but now Shiny Boy is being chased down, but
oh, Warwick's not going to find that. The Blood Scent not going to be enough. Whimsy and heal, too much move speed benefit And now Chenny Boy's here. Oh, there's the Paranoia and the Wild Growth. Great combination from Chenny Boy. Suddenly they turn back around. They're looking at him. Feelings did pop the Infinite G-Rest, and now the stuns, all the combos, the shields are almost there, and now it's going to be AKG Sucks looking to try and pick up Feeling, but he gets the heals out from Lucian and that Hungering Strike. He's going to survive. Great Lantern from Ludwig, got him out of there, but it's starting to heat up, and it is 9-3. I mean, oh, Solar Flare, AKG Sucks will spell shield, absolutely nothing spells. Actually, the damage and the Sunlight proc coming out from Zenith Blade, but so Leona, she still travels, and they pick up a kill underneath that turret. Whacked, gets himself blue buff. You almost made me say Wicked there, Jubilee. You've been calling him Wicked all game.
No, I called him whacked. I called him wicked. I don't know.
Anyway, the 3 engage. Oh, Megadeth collides, and it's going to be the final ticket damage that belongs to Sora. But great Zenith Blade from Grey Fox, baby. Great Shockwave as well. TF Ballsy. All of these players showing their mechanics. That is Leona mechanics right there. That was fantastic.
Yeah, whacked on Lucian ends up going down in that fight, and it was a wicked death. But there's another engage.
Ballsy's going to be the focus. The traps, the Flame Chompers, they're not going to activate in time. And this could be a mid lane turret going down. That would be 3 turrets to 1 Jubilate, and that would be a huge gold lead as well.
Absolutely, Rank. And just the gold lead is just continuously going in their favor. 3,000 gold still. It's almost 4,000 now. And itemization-wise, a Bloodthirster is completed onto Jinx, and Jinx has such good scaling. Even with a single Bloodthirster, they're able to do it, but they're continuing this push down mid lane. They picked up that turret, increased the gold lead even more. That's a 5,000 gold difference, actually 4.3 thousand gold difference, but still, nonetheless, incredibly high. They're going to try and catch people out. The Flaming Choppers are going to lock them down, but this is great disengage because with everyone being in that mid lane, all 4 members of CMS are in the mid lane trying to make something happen. As the Solar Flare misses, the Solar Flare did go out. It missed. That's going to free up X Sora in the top lane to trade out for a turret.
Chenny Boy ignite and the Piercing Light. Here comes Ludwig though. There's the Wild Growth as well, and the box comes out. That is going to stop the engage. Death Sentence does find Whacked NZ, but oh, Whacked! He goes in, he's not going to find Chenny Boy, but Chenny Boy's going to be engaged upon by Grey Fox, maybe he can't get there, and Lulu the Whimsy locks him down. 3 kills for 0 in the mid lane, 2 on the Nocturne, and Wick, you mentioned it, went for that Wriggles Lantern, but Nocturne, not so, he's going for that Spirit of the Old Lizard. And this is such a strong, confident team. Oh, the Dissonance does pick up that Lulu. And yeah, you know, that could potentially be everything. Oh, Shockwave coming out. And, well, this is dangerous from UTS. They are so strong. Oh, the Ignite going down. They will actually pick up Thresh on the way out of there. And now Feelings, he's looking to chase with that Blood Scent. Chuffer's going to turn around and kite as best he can. The ball comes out, the Dissonance and the slows. Chuffer's going to flash that wall, though. They have to follow him a long way. The Mega Death Rocket as well. Can he duel out Feelings? And, well, no, it's not going to be that. And Oriana picks up that Jinx this time. Another Dissonance. Ballsy, he's looking to chase. Another command attack. Doing whatever he can, but it's going to be getting out of there. Solar Flare comes down. They're still looking at Sora. Zenith Blade. They're going to go deep. And Grey Fox, baby, in a lot of trouble with that turret. Another auto attack from Lulu and Shyvana. Going to pick that one up. And 14-7. And it's a 6k lead. Chenny Boy goes a little bit aggressive. Picks himself up, and Oriana Culling's going to come through, but Wild Growth taking out a lot of damage. And man, these teams are just like, right, it's time to go back and forth.
Yeah, and that was just an over-committing. Just Grey Fox, baby, completely over-committed in that fight. There was no way they were going to be able to secure that kill, yet still went for the Zenith Blade. I wonder if it was I'm going to throw out the Zenith Blade just to kind of scare him off, and it was that accidental, oh, crap, it hit, and just... So you end up putting yourself in a really bad position, which he did. I mean, you're behind the tier 2 tower. You're in between the inhibitor turret as well as the second tier turret with a Nocturne who is coming in to kill you as well, with Oriana not following up on it at all. And it's just a really bad play on their part. I'm interested if it was a misclick, but there it is.
The top lane though. Chenny Boy in a little bit of trouble. Is going to get that shield out, and the Dragon's Descent's going to pick up one. And also in the bottom lane, they find a nice pick on towards the Lucian from Whacked. Man, this is again. We've said trouble once already, but it's going to be more trouble. Oriana Gets that ball out onto Warwick, and suddenly the engage goes on towards Ludwig. Solar Flare on towards AKG sucks. They're going to focus him out with the Infinite Duress as well. Can they find the damage? Out comes the Paranoia. He looks to turn it back around on a Ballsy, and Sora's here as well. Wild Growth up by Lulu to get an assist on that one, and now Feelings. Well, he's going to pick up Nocturne, but that's all he's going to get for that. They trade Leona, Leona, Oriana, and Warwick for a Nocturne and a couple of turrets. Well, right now, this is the power seat sitting here, and they're still not done. Flash, Death Sentence, into the traps. Whacked is going to go down as well. That's 4 kills for 1, 2 turrets as well. Man, the gold lead is 10k already before 20 minutes, coming out in favor right here of UTS. They are the powerhouse of this game at the moment, and that Jinx, she's so fed.
Jinx is incredibly fed right now. 6, 2, and 3. 8,000 gold in the bank. They're taking Dragon now. That's just going to increase. She's already sitting on 1,800 gold. Jinx is 3,000 gold ahead of Whacked on the Lucian. I have to say, that's whack.
Dude, and look what she's building as well. She's going to go for another BF sword, looking for more huge amounts of damage. She could just potentially pick up an IE second item after a Bloodthirster.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at Nocturne's build right now. Has double null magic mantles. I think what he's gonna want to do is probably. I mean, you have a lot of a lot of AP coming out from CMS as far as Rise up in the top lane, and you do have Oriana, who already has a needlessly large rod. I think what he's going to want to do is probably go with the Merc Treads and work into a Hex Drinker to try and mitigate a lot of that AP damage, but there's a possible engage here. Wild Growth.
Flashes into the Wild Growth, and the rest of the team see the Solar Flare. Shitty Boy is going to go down, but what damage can they trade out for it? Look at this coming out from Sora. He's so deep in. Mega Death Rocket Whacked is still alive in the meantime. Will go down finally, but Nocturne will go down himself. Death Sentence does miss, but now Chuffer is here. Great flame jumpers. He's going to look to focus on a Ballsy. In the meantime, in the background, Sora does pick up Feelings. No, Feelings is still alive. Sorry. Sora does pick up Whacked. Trades his life. Jinx is the only one left on the map, man. That's 9 deaths right there. 4 for 5 trade. Ace picked up. Jinx, she's going to rock some turrets. She's going to rock some power. She's going to rock some fish bones. And she is starting to look like the ultimate destruction machine.
So what you're saying is that she's being Rambo. Because that's exactly what's happening right now. She is just ramming through these lanes.
Does she hold a minigun on the side?
What?
Does she hold a minigun and a rocket launcher on the side? Well, rocket launch is a tube, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Right. So she pulls it up to her shoulder when it's a rocket launcher, and then holds it down to the side because it's a minigun. So you have to hold the minigun with both hands. You can't hold a minigun with one hand.
Right. So she holds the rocket launcher on her shoulder, balances it there while she fires the minigun sideways.
Right. See?
Right.
Just saw that. It's like the rocket launcher's hung around her back. It's like hung on her back, like as if you're holding a sword. And then she just switches to it when she uses her switcheroo. But as you mentioned, Infinity Edge completed onto Jinx. It's so incredibly strong. Right now, CMS are going for Baron. This is a desperate play.
No, they can't because they're forced to disengage. Shockwave comes out, only finds Jetty Boy. Look at that Mega Death Rocket. Jinx's assist from across the map. Feelings gets that. Infinite Duress on AKG sucks, but it doesn't matter. This is a 4v5 fight. They engage Baron. It was the incorrect decision. And well, you've been denied that. You've also been denied your lives. Look at Jinx. They don't even care. They're just going to continue chasing. They know they've got that one locked down. And now it's going to be a Baron 47k to 32.7. Man, this is looking like it's over already. And UTS, what a game so far they're having.
Yeah, UTS absolutely unstoppable at this point. This is right now, this is their game to throw. There is no reason why they should not win this game. And if they keep up what they're doing, it will be fine. Jinx is now going back, sitting on 2,500 gold. Interesting to see what she's going to get. That's the GG. That's going to be the surrender. That means UTS actually is the winner of the Winter Arena. However, both teams will be going to the Winter Regional Qualifier.
Yep, absolutely. Congratulations, UTS, with a dominating performance like that. It is utterly decimating. Darius not in this game. Would have liked to see him here. That would have been absolutely perfect for the pun side of things. But UTS, Chuffer plays an amazing AD carry. Amazing AD carry.
Absolutely amazing AD carry. I mean, we saw whacked on his Lucian. That's one of the champions that was just in his first game just absolutely dominated on. In the first game against in the first game against University of South Wales. In the game against UTS, he actually he dominated on the. No, Lucian was actually banned out in the first game.
He was.
He was banned out. He wasn't able to play that, but he did get it in the last game. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to dominate with that. I'm thinking about the first setup that he did against the University of South Wales. But just Chuffer, the first game that they played in this matchup, in this best of 3, Chuffer did not do as well as he did in the second and third game. And he was actually on Caitlyn, which is one of the safer picks.
But that was more about Chenny Boy and where Chenny Boy and what he was doing in the mid lane. He picked up the block, tried to turret dive too aggressively, and Lux is just like, yeah, Jarvan's here. You know, Vi just ganks. They're on equal health. Didn't need to tower dive at that point in time, and kind of threw that first game. But as soon as you see Chuffer on Twitch last game, now on Jinx, he's able to play a multitude of champions from UTS. That was fantastic for them in that.
Yeah, and I just want to point this out there, just a random fact from that last game. The support on UTS had more gold than anyone on CMS.
21 assists. No kills, 21 assists. Only died twice. Congratulations. Very well played. It's now time to go through our list of shoutouts. And Jubilate, I think probably the biggest one, has to go to the entire team from Oceanic Gaming. All the guys that were working on art.
Oceanic Gaming is hosting this event. Without the entire team, this would not have ran smoothly whatsoever. Trust me, especially when it comes to streaming, it wouldn't have ran smoothly without the entire Oceanic team.
Absolutely. Woody and everyone over there, big thank you and a shout out to everyone that helped out right now. I mean, that's the last 2 spots locked in, and for our winter arena as well. So don't forget, that one will be coming up pretty soon. That will be your round of 8. That will be played, cast at a later date. Probably not by us, but by some other friends, some nice people, some nice casters. It's been a hell of a time being here on both days, both the Friday and the Sunday of this winter arena. So a big thank you to everyone along for having me, Jubilate. I think it goes without saying for you as well. Big thank you for you coming along and spending all your time as well. Been fantastic having you here.
Absolutely. It's been completely wonderful. But guys, that is going to conclude this event. This has been Oceanic Gaming's Winter Arena to determine who goes on to the winter qualifiers. I have been Jubilate. Join with me, of course, was the ever so wonderful Ranconius. If you ever want to follow us, go ahead and go to @Ranconius on Twitter. @OCGJubilate is going to be mine personally. If you want to get a hold of both of us at the same time, @Rarconius is how you can reach all the casters that you've heard throughout this event, as well as the streamers throughout this event as well. So guys, that concludes the event. I love your faces, and hopefully we'll see you next time on another tourney.